Welcome to the Dropship.com podcast. Today, we're bringing you more e-commerce insights, dropshipping strategies, and all the inspiration you need to grow your business. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, this podcast is your one-stop shop for success. Ready to roll? Here are your hosts, Ava and Noah.
$500 to a $3 million brand?
Yeah.
And all in, what, under a year?
Yeah.
I mean, that's this kind of story that makes you want to, stop and take notes, you know?
Yeah.
So today, we're going to deep dive into Sophie Nistico and her brand. It's called See the Way I See. It's affirmation wear.
Okay.
And we've got articles about her. We've got interviews. There's even some data on her Instagram strategy that we could look at. So this is going to be your shortcut to understanding how she built this business. You know, something that's both trendy but also taps into something much deeper.
Yeah, it's really interesting how she combined, I guess, a sense of what people are kind of craving right now, you know,
Yeah.
with some really smart business decisions, you know.
Yeah.
It's not just a successful clothing brand. It's like a case study in how to leverage social media,
Right.
understand your audience, and then choosing the right production model to scale quickly.
Yeah, I mean, and this isn't just for aspiring entrepreneurs, right?
Exactly.
Like, this deep dive is about, getting those nuggets of wisdom that you can apply to anything that you're passionate about, really.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with the product itself, affirmation wear. So we're talking hoodies, T-shirts, things like that, with messages like, you're allowed to be anxious without a reason, or my feelings are valid, you know, stuff like that.
Now, on the surface, this might seem like, you know, just another clothing trend, but Sophie's choice to really focus on mental health with this, it was incredibly strategic. We're seeing this big cultural shift where people are way more open about their struggles now. They're looking for ways to express themselves and to find support.
And wearing your heart on your sleeve literally is a pretty powerful way to do that, right? Like, I mean, these messages, they're not just trendy, they're deeply relatable to people.
They are. And,
Yeah.
and the sources that we have actually highlight, you know how Sophie's specific choice of affirmations resonated with her target audience?
Mm.
Like, for example, she uses this one, "You are worthy of love and belonging,"
Okay.
which speaks to like a very fundamental human need for connection and validation. So it's not just about, you know, feeling good. It's about feeling seen and understood.
Okay, but having a great product is only, half the battle, right?
Yeah.
You got to get it in front of the right people.
Yeah.
And that's where Sophie's Instagram mastery comes in. We're talking 2 to 3 posts a day.
Wow.
Consistent aesthetics,
Mm.
content that was designed for sharing. I mean, she really she nailed it.
It wasn't just about posting frequency, though, right? I mean, Sophie, she understood that Instagram is a visual platform. The articles describe her aesthetic as, clean, calming, using pastel tones, simple typography, lots of natural light. So this created a cohesive brand image that felt both aspirational and approachable.
And she was laser focused on this thing, kind of cents per reach.
Yeah.
And I'd never even heard of that before.
Oh, yeah. Cents per reach. It's a measure of, basically how shareable your content is, basically how often people are sending it to friends or posting it to their stories.
Right, yeah.
High cents per reach usually means you're hitting that sweet spot of being, engaging and relevant to your audience.
Okay.
And Sophie used that data to constantly tweak and improve her content.
So she was using data to understand what resonated. She wasn't just guessing.
No. She treated her Instagram like a laboratory,
Yeah.
testing and iterating to see what worked best.
But it wasn't just about algorithms and metrics. I mean, Sophie was also really active in building a community. She'd respond to comments, she'd answer DMs. I mean, basically make people feel like they were part of something.
Yeah. And that's what turns followers into loyal customers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these articles actually have quotes from Sophie's customers saying that they felt like they knew her personally, which made them more likely to support her brand.
Yeah, that personal touch is huge, especially in the digital age.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a killer product.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a thriving online community. But what about the actual logistics of producing and selling clothes? I mean, that's usually where things get complicated, right?
Right.
Enter print on demand.
This is where Sophie's her business savvy really, really shines, I think. Instead of investing in tons of inventory up front, she partnered with a company called Gelato.
Okay.
And they handle all the printing and shipping, but only when an order is placed.
So no warehouses full of unsold merch. That's pretty brilliant. What were the advantages there?
Well, from a financial standpoint, it eliminated the risk of having a bunch of capital tied up in inventory that might not sell. It also allowed Sophie to be incredibly agile. You know, she could test out new designs and products without a huge upfront investment. Something didn't work, no big loss.
Right.
If it took off, Gelato could handle the scaling seamlessly.
And it freed her up to focus on the marketing and community building, which, from everything we've seen, was her real strength. Now I'm curious about how she actually launched her collections. The sources mentioned this thing called a drop strategy.
Ah, yes, the drop strategy. This is where Sophie tapped into the power of scarcity and urgency. So instead of having, her entire collection available all the time, she'd release limited edition items in these drops.
Yeah.
And these drops were announced and teased on Instagram, creating a, kind of a frenzy of anticipation among her followers.
So it was like an event. It wasn't just another shopping trip.
Exactly, yeah.
Did it work?
Extremely well. Yeah, these drops would often sell out within hours, creating this sense of exclusivity and excitement around her brand.
So it sounds like she really understood how to, create that buzz, that got to have it now feeling, right? Did she do anything specific on Instagram to build up the hype for these drops?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. The articles mention, her strategic use of Instagram stories.
Okay.
She'd give sneak peeks of upcoming designs,
Right.
do countdowns to the drop, even share behind the scenes glimpses of the production process.
So she's not just selling clothes. She's giving people a glimpse into her world, her creative process that makes them feel more connected to the brand.
Exactly. Yeah. It creates a sense of transparency and authenticity, which is so important for building trust, especially online. And let's not forget, this entire strategy was fueled by print on demand.
Right.
She could experiment with these limited edition drops without the risk of having leftover inventory.
Yeah, it's like all these pieces fit together perfectly.
Yeah.
The message, the platform, the production model, and then this clever launch strategy. It's no wonder she went from $500 to $3 million in less than a year.
Yeah, it's remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really highlights the power of understanding how all these elements work together. It's not just about having, a good idea. It's about having a solid strategy and the right tools to execute it.
Okay, so we've unpacked Sophie's journey, but now I'm kind of curious. What are the key takeaways here for our listener? I mean, we're not all going to start clothing brands,
Right.
But surely there are lessons here that apply more broadly, right?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the biggest takeaways, in my opinion, is the importance of tapping into a cultural moment. Sophie didn't just create a product. She created something that spoke to a deep-seated need for self-expression and connection.
Okay.
So think about the things that people are passionate about right now, the conversations that are happening. Is there a way to create something that resonates with those, those feelings, those needs?
So it's about being aware of the world around you, understanding what people care about, and finding a way to connect with that authentically, not just chasing trends for the sake of it.
Precisely. And once you've identified that need, Sophie's story shows the power of building a community around it. It's not enough to just have a great product or service. You need to cultivate a sense of belonging, a shared experience.
She did that so well on Instagram. Are there other ways to build that kind of community, even if you're not on social media?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it could be through, email newsletters, in-person events, even just word of mouth. The key is to create a space where people feel, heard, valued, and connected to something larger than themselves.
And let's not forget the power of a good launch strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, the drop model might not be right for everyone, but the principle of creating scarcity and urgency, you can apply that in other ways, right?
For example, you could offer limited time discounts, early access to new products or services, or even just create a sense of excitement around a new project by sharing behind-the-scenes glimpses of your process.
So it's about getting people excited, making them feel like they're part of something special.
Exactly. And remember, Sophie's success, it wasn't just about luck. It was about being strategic, understanding her audience, and choosing the right tools and techniques to bring her vision to life.
And she wasn't afraid to experiment, to try new things, and to constantly adapt her approach based on what was working. I mean, she started with just $500, which is pretty inspiring.
It is inspiring, yeah. It shows that you don't need a lot of resources to get started.
Yeah.
You just need a good idea, a clear strategy, and the willingness to put in the work.
And to be a little bit brave. to take a leap of faith. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, but there's one element of Sophie's story I want to circle back to, the print-on-demand aspect.
Yeah.
It sounds like this was key to her ability to scale so quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah, it freed her from the constraints of traditional manufacturing and inventory management.
Okay.
Instead of having to invest heavily in stock up front, she could test out new designs and products with minimal risk.
And if something didn't sell, she wasn't stuck with a warehouse full of it.
Exactly. And on the flip side, if a product took off, Gelato could handle the increased demand without Sophie having to worry about logistics or production bottlenecks.
It's like having a built-in safety net and a growth engine all in one.
In a way, yeah, it is. I mean, print on demand has really leveled the playing field for small businesses and entrepreneurs. It allows them to compete with larger companies without having to make the same level of upfront investment.
So it's not just about selling T-shirts. It's about a whole new way of thinking about production and distribution.
Right. It's about being lean, agile, and responsive to customer demand. And it allows entrepreneurs to focus on what they do best, creating great products and building strong brands.
So even if our listener isn't planning to launch a clothing line, the takeaway here is that there are innovative tools and technologies out there that can help them streamline their business, reduce risk, and scale more effectively.
Absolutely. It's about being aware of the resources that are available and choosing the ones that best align with your specific goals and needs.
And not being afraid to experiment, to try new things, and to see what works. After all, that's how Sophie built her $3 million empire.
It is inspiring, yeah. Her story shows that success is often a combination of creativity, strategy, and a willingness to embrace new ideas and approaches.
Yeah, it really is. Sophie's journey, it's a reminder that sometimes the biggest risk is not taking any risks at all.
Yeah.
She started with just $500 and a belief in her idea.
And that belief, coupled with a strategic approach, it allowed her to turn that small investment into something extraordinary.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into Sophie's world, I want to leave our listener with this.
Yeah.
What's your version of See the Way I See, right?
Yeah.
What idea, what passion have you been holding back on?
Yeah, maybe it's time to take a page from Sophie's playbook. Think about how you can tap into a cultural moment, build a community around your passion, and leverage tools like print on demand to bring your vision to life.
And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect from the start. I mean, Sophie's success, it was built on experimentation, iteration, and a willingness to learn and adapt along the way, So what's that one small step you can take today to turn your $500 idea into something remarkable?
That's it for today on the dropship.com podcast. We hope you got some value out of this episode. If you're looking to stay ahead in e-commerce and dropshipping, the dropship.com newsletter is where we dive deeper into the latest trends, news, and strategies. Delivered every Monday and Thursday. Don't miss it. Subscribe with the link